All right. So one of the first things we want to practice is this sitting up and slouching. And just how does it feel when you're doing this throughout your spine? How much of a collapse can you go, even allowing your head to fall? And we're not really trying to fall forward as much as fall down, right? So I'm not trying to fall over my knees. I'm just trying to fall over the hips. And then from there, sitting up nice and tall, using your spinal muscles to do the motion. Try not to use your shoulders. Try not to shrug your shoulders. And then you're kind of extending your chest out, but still going up. And again, we're not leaning back as much as arching back. And then slowly relax. And you're again paying attention to your pressure on the seat. And then you're going to collapse down. How does it feel through your feet? Extend up. Moving nice and gently through your spine. Sitting tall through your rib cage, trying to get that sternum high, trying to keep your shoulders relaxed. Then relaxes your spine, okay, going through these extremes, paying attention to the pressure on the seat, collapsing back down, and then extending back up. And again, respecting what your body is able to do. You almost feel like you're pushing through the front of the hips a little bit as you sit up nice and tall, lift the rib cage, and relax. Now we're coming back to more of a neutral position. From here, we're going to extend one leg out at a time to wherever you feel tightness. And so for me, like right there is a little tight, so if I scoot forward, allow my hip to go a little bit lower, I'm able to extend my knee all the way. And then once my knee is extended, I can continue to lift that leg up. If you have your knee fully extended, try to lift that high a little bit, that thigh a little bit higher, and keep that knee extended. If you lift that leg and that thigh, don't let the knee start to bend at all. Try to keep it nice and tight. Stay tall. Try to keep this neutral spine so you're not arching up too much. Keep that knee straight and then relax. We'll switch to the other side. Extend out. Again, if you get to where that knee is extended, continue to lift that thigh and that leg up higher. Keep that knee straight. Keep holding. And down. Now we're going to do it with the leg slightly rotated in. So extend the leg, rotate the leg slightly in, and then continue to lift. And that's going to hit this outside part of the hip. Keeping that knee straight, but the toes and kneecap are turned in just a little bit. We don't want any bend. Then rotate out and bring that leg back down. So again, extend, rotate the leg inward, and lift up and hold. Keeping everything else nice and square. Try not to let that body rotate towards it. Keep that knee straight. Again, you'll feel it on this outer upper part of the hip. Rotate out of it and lower. Now we're going to go back to this first side with the toes and knee rotating outward with that knee straight, lifting it up and hold, feeling it across the inside part of the hip. Feeling that stretch, keeping it tight through the leg, rotate out, back to neutral, extend the other leg, toe and knee rotate out, and then lift. Keeping that knee extended, it's easy to start letting it bend. There's not a whole lot of rotation with the leg in this position when you're seated, but you do have a little bit of motion. And then rotate back out, and then we're going to go back to neutral with the knees and toe pointing up, back to keeping that leg straight, lift up, keeping it nice and tight through the front of the thigh.
Well, my brain's communicating.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Keeping it nice and tight through the front of the thigh as long as you're not getting any cramping. Right now we just have the kneecap and foot pointing up, and then relax. We'll go to the other side, and if you want in between, you can relax through the spine. We're going to extend the other leg, holding it nice and steady. Keep thinking about, can you tighten that knee anymore, as far as continuing to keep it extended, not allowing it to flex at all. Breathe into it. And then relax. Now we're going to move back to some torso movements. So one thing we want to find is, what is your max range of rotation? So if we bring your hands to the center of your chest, we allow your upper body to move with your shoulders. We just want to turn as far as you can where you start to feel tightness. And then you're going to come out of that. We're going to go to the other side. And now we want to work in between those points. So we want to think of those points as walls, and we want to avoid hitting the walls. So what we're going to do is we're going to rotate in between those points by not getting close to them. So again, if your walls were here and here, then your rotation is going to stay really more into the center. All right, so we're doing these little oscillation rotations. Just nice and gentle through your core, trying to move your rib cage. The upper body is moving. Then you're going to relax. Kind of roll the shoulders a little bit. Paying attention to how do your feet and lower legs feel. All right, we're going to bring your hands back to your center. Now we're going to rotate once again. We're going to go to one side. We're going to hold it, and we're going to lean back across the body. So we're going to turn away, and then you're going to lean back across. Trying to keep both feet on the ground, keeping both hips and your glutes touching the seat. Back up, rotate. Now we're going to go the other direction. Turn, and then lean back across your body. Exploring, is one side tighter? Back up, rotate out of it. We're going to go back to that first side, rotate, lean across, just nice and gentle, not forcing it. Back up, rotate to the other side, lean across. Can you tell one side is harder to do? Back up out of it. All right, now we're going to move into some hip rotation. So here we're going to pick the leg up. This is where we have the foot just off the ground just a little bit. You want to think about this thigh. It's not moving sideways or it's not moving up and down. We're just having it spin, having that lower leg and foot rotate across, spinning through this length of the leg, then back. Take that foot and lower leg to the outside, back, rotate across, back, taking it out, and you're trying to maintain the rest of your body being nice and stable, which is the nice thing about a stable chair. Again, trying to take this foot and lower leg across and up, holding it nice and steady, back to neutral, getting a good pause before taking that foot and lower leg out. And again, this point of the kneecap to your top of the hip, stay stable the entire time. We'll move into the other side. Bringing that foot and lower leg across. Again, trying to avoid any movement in this hip or the rest of the body. Back to neutral. Take that foot and lower leg out. This side just feels a little tighter. It gets a little tighter on the outside. Back to neutral. Take this foot and lower leg across. Holding it nice and steady. Back to neutral. Get a good pause. Take it out to the outside. Back to neutral. One more each position. Taking it across. Slightly up. Don't allow this thigh and knee to lift. Thinking about that foot and the inside part of the ankle. Back to neutral. Taking it to the outside. And relax. All right, we're going to do a couple things for the arms. So we're going to bend your elbows. So your elbows are bent, hands are facing each other. We're going to take your arms up out to the side. We're going to do that 5 times. Just feeling like you're taking your arms away. Do you have any pain or discomfort throughout your upper neck and shoulder? Think about what you're stretching in this underside, creating space. We'll do one more. Well, now with your arms out, you're going to extend your elbows, taking your hands away from the body. Open up the chest, taking your arms behind with your arms out straight. Bring them back out in front, palms facing and touching. Lift the hands as high as you can, which for me is just about right here with being able to keep my hands together. And then back down. Hands out wide, palms facing down as you go back and behind. Opening up the front of your shoulders. Bringing it back together as they come together, palms face, thumbs up. We have those hands out in front. We just reach up just wherever it gets tight, which for me is about right there. And then back down, palms facing down, out, and relax. Roll the shoulders. Shrug, you're rolling in each direction. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to have their hand out to the side with the palm down, and we're going to rotate that arm up and then back down. And we want to try to keep this elbow to the shoulder nice and stable, even if it's down below. We just want to try to maintain it in that position as opposed to any movement with that. And just a nice smooth rotation through that arm. Do you have any pain with that? And then relax. We'll go to the other side. So again, the hand is out, elbows 90. And rotate that hand up. And start to take it down. And again, for me, my foot is about right there. My hand's a little bit lower. And it's just respecting where you get tight. This side just feels maybe a little bit more challenging to keep my shoulders stable. And relax. Alright, now we're going to add some of the motions we were doing earlier, which might not allow you to be as extreme in each one. But what we're going to do is we're going to do the knee extension, and we're going to add in the rotation. So here you want to keep both legs at the starting position, not allowing the legs to flare out or to move. But keeping one leg extended, we're going to rotate over the side that's out extended. We're going to hold it nice and steady, keeping that leg extended, continuing to rotate. Here you can rotate a little bit further. And then come on out of it. Relax that leg. We're going to do that same side one more time. We're going to extend the leg. We're going to rotate over the top. Thinking about bringing your legs together, though they're not really moving. Lifting that knee with the leg straight. Rotate out of it and down. We're going to do the other side, so you should be feeling this on that inner thigh, the leg that's out straight. We turn over the top of the leg with the leg out straight. Here you are, pushing a little bit more towards that stretch, as long as it's not painful. And then relax out of it, relax that leg down. Let's do it once again, extend, rotate. Keep that knee nice and straight, sitting up tall through the chest. Rotate out of it, relax. Again, checking to see how does that feel throughout your body and everything, like throughout your rib cage, throughout your spinal muscles. Do you get any spasming? Are any of the positions difficult for you to do? And how can you modify? So some of the modifications would be not turning as far, would be not holding the position for as long. And then, you can even go in and out, and it's really respecting your body's limits. So with that, now we're going to keep the head and shoulders stable, and we're going to move your neck and head. So we're thinking about moving your head and chin, and we're thinking about keeping the ears over the shoulders as opposed to allowing that head to be out over the top. So when we be back here, we're going to turn the head and shoulders just as far as you can. Where there's not any tightness, keep the shoulders down. They start to like to elevate. Rotate back to neutral. We're going to go the same direction 3 times. Back to neutral. And so again, just thinking about put in the back of the head against a wall. Keep that chin slightly tucked, and then we're just turning. Wherever it gets tight, back to neutral. Not forcing anything. Again, just taking your body into positions that you probably normally would not, that are good positions to take your body through. Now we're going to do palms up. We're going to do one arm at a time. You're going to bring this arm up as far as you can with keeping that little finger pointing a little bit more up so that palm is flat. And hand is out to the side a little bit. It's not directly in front of the shoulder. And then lower that arm back down. Knowing that this is challenging the opposite side of your back and core, preventing your body from rotating and lowering down. Again, trying to keep that palm flat, thinking about you're holding a plate. Relax back down. We'll do one more. You feel this across the front arm of the shoulder. This is also a good stretch for your nerves, especially if your fingers are separated and extended, and back down. All right, we'll move to the other side. So thumb is away, palm is pointing forward. Sweep that hand forward. And here I kind of felt myself leaning down. I felt like, oh, I could tighten up and hold myself a little bit more upright. Keep this palm a little bit more open. But you really feel into the inside part of my elbow. And then relax down. Lift them back up. Can you keep that palm flat? How does it feel through the front of the arm, through the elbow space, and then back down? One more. Sweep that hand up to as far as you can, keeping that palm open, that thumb out. Keep that elbow straight. It's easy to start leaning back as you lift that arm up, so think about kind of leaning forward a little bit. And down. Shake those out. All right, we're going to move to doing some things for your feet and toes. So we're going to do our little toe extension where you're going to keep your big toe down. However, we're going to do it with your foot rotated out. So keeping your knee and thighs stable, we're going to slide the foot out just a little bit in front. We're going to rotate, keeping the heel down on the toes and foot outward. Once you're there, you're going to keep the big toe down, extend your four little toes, and you're still going to try to keep this outside part of the foot down because it's easy here to start lifting that. And then relax. And keeping that same rotation, we're going to extend those toes. So this is helping everything in this lateral lower part of the leg. And then relax. Rotate that foot back in. We'll do the other side. Slide the foot slightly out. Keeping the heel down. Rotate that foot and lower leg out. Keep the big toe down. Lift the four little toes. Here that knee likes to dive out. Try to keep it upright. A little bit more challenging for me. And then relax. And again. Lift and extend. This side's a little bit more challenging for me to keep that lateral part of my foot down and still get extension of my toes. And relax. All right, we're going to return back to that same external rotation, but now we're going to keep the four little toes down and do the big toe extension. So back to that first side, rotate the foot and toes out. Four little toes down, extend the big toe. You're going to feel that on the top of the foot. You're trying to keep this inside part of the foot on the floor. And relax. And again, pressing the four toes down, lift the big toe up. Feeling it across the top of the big toe. And relax. All right, we're going to do the other side. We're rotating the foot out. Again, watching that knee. It's really easy to let that knee dive out. Try to avoid that. Keeping the four toes down. Again, if you need to block, you can. Lift that big toe up. And relax. And again, lifting up, press those four toes down. And relax. All right, now we're going to do the tibial rotation, which is a really important motion for your knee and helps strengthen the knee And it's one of the components of what we were just doing, but we're going to focus on the rotation in. There we were doing the tibial rotation out for those positions here, with the foot slightly away from being underneath the knee, foot flat on the floor. We're going to rotate the foot and toes inward, keeping the toes in contact with the floor. It's a small motion, and then just rotate back out. We're holding the out just for a second or two. Before we rotate back in, we're getting a longer hold with the foot rotated in. You'll feel that on the bottom of the toes, the bottom of the foot. You're trying to keep the toes on contact with the floor. Slowly relax, rotating out. One more, rotate across. And relax. Here we'll do the other side. Slide the foot out. Rotate the toes and foot across. Rotate back out just for a second or two. Rotate back in. Rotate back out. So I can tell today, and then rotate back in. This movement's a little bit more challenging, but I also have been doing a little bit more stuff with my legs and lower body. And relax. All right, we'll do that for today. So again, a lot of stuff for your core, for your hips and knees, and then also paying attention to how that feels. And so, there was a lot of not direct attention to your low back, but your low back was involved the entire time. So, pay attention to how those areas feel and how your body reacts to it.